Now, before I say one word about this movie, let me tell you a little bit about a girl who could not get picked last in kickball because she was the one picking the teams, okay? That was me. Scraped up knees, my hair coming loose from the braids before recess even started, okay? I was faster than most of the boys, and I was reminded daily that this was a problem. I was called aggressive. I was labeled a tomboy, like it was a diagnosis, and I was told more than once that the boy pushing me down on the playground did it because he liked me. Okay, hold that thought, because that is the exact lie this entire movie is built on. Everybody calls Love and Basketball a romantic classic, but I'm here to tell you that it's just a really good movie about a genuinely unhealthy relationship. And the reason it hits so hard is that it dressed up every red flag as a love language. Okay, we were sold couple goals. What we actually got was a bunch of red flags. Okay, so let's get into it. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Indescribable, aka Geraldine Lake, and today we are going to break down a cult classic, Love and Basketball. We meet Monica and Quincy when they are 11, brand new neighbors, and the first thing that happens is a boy gets physical on the basketball court and a girl walks away with a scar. And the movie, the neighborhood, and honestly, and the audience for the last 2 decades all agreed on the same story. It was cute. You know, it was puppy love. He was just showing off for her. No, he hurt her. And everybody decided that her face was a small price for his little crush. And I need you to sit in how early this type of training starts, because the research is not subtle. There is a piece in the conversation from this year on how gender conformity gets installed in kids. And one line has been living in my head rent-free. There is no polite male version of tomboy. A girl who plays like the boys gets a word that is almost a compliment. But a boy who plays like girls, he get called gay or a sissy. And he learns by 5 that softness is something that you run from. So you feel where this is going? Quincy learns that being hard is how you win. That's being a man. Monica learns that being good is how you get punished. Sociologists have documented this for decades. The classic example in the textbooks is literally a girl who wants karate instead of dance lessons, and she gets labeled a tomboy and then struggling to be accepted by everybody. And there is research going back to the 90s showing tomboy behavior tends to get quietly policed out of girls right around puberty, exactly when the world starts insisting that they pick a side. So when little Monica is competitive, she's difficult. When little Quincy is competitive, he's a star. Same fire, but one kid gets a scholarship narrative and the other kid gets a personality problem. And they handed her a scar and called it a love story. Now, I'm aware that Sanaa Lathan has an actual scar, but follow me here, okay? Real ones already know what it is. And if this is hidden for you, then tap that like button so the algorithm can show it to the next tomboy who really needs to hear it. Now, the word narcissist gets thrown around a lot like confetti these days. So let me be responsible for a second, because that is the standard on my channel, okay? You cannot diagnose a fictional character. And honestly, you should be suspicious of anybody diagnosing a real person they've never treated. Narcissistic personality disorder is an actual clinical thing in the DSM with 9 criteria, and you need a bunch of them, okay? So I'm not saying Quincy has a disorder. I'm saying Quincy runs a set of behaviors, and that's a pattern that we simply cannot ignore. Exhibit A, the night his whole world falls apart, he shows up at Monica's door, asks her to break curfew and be with him. She wants to, but she's scared of the consequences. And when she hesitates, what does he do? He doesn't hear a scared teenager weighing a real risk. He hears betrayal. He makes her boundary the determining factor on whether or not she loves him. That right there is the tell, not the sadness. The sadness is human, and I'm not gonna clown somebody for hurting, but the tell is the entitlement, the belief that the people who love you exist only to be available on demand, and that their limitations are a personal attack on you. In the literature, they talk about how this kind of dynamic needs a steady supply of attention and admiration to feel okay, and the moment the supply gets interrupted, you become the enemy. And this is why Monica specifically drives him crazy. Monica has her own dream that is exactly the same size as his. She ain't just a mirror. She's a whole entire person with somewhere to be and stuff to do. The woman he gets engaged to later is lovely, okay? She's also easy in the sense that she orbits around him, but Monica don't orbit, okay? She got her own gravity. And an emotionally immature person does not want a partner with their own gravity because they need a moon, right? Hold on to that word, gravity, because the ending is going to test it. Okay, this is my favorite part because Love and Basketball is secretly a movie about two houses that both lied to their own kids. Quincy worships his father. Zeke is the pro with the swagger and the blueprint. Quincy's whole identity, the confidence, the destiny, the I'm going to the league, all of that energy, it's built on being Zeke's son. And then he finds out that his father has been cheating and his foundation cracks right down the middle. Here's the psychology, and it's one of the most cited ideas in the field. Albert Bandura's social learning theory. Okay, kids do not mostly learn from lectures, they learn by watching. Bandura's famous experiments in the 60s showed children copying the aggression they saw modeled by adults. No reward needed, just watching and repeating. And it doesn't stop at aggression. There is research linking what kids witness between their parents to how they later treat their own partners. You inherit the choreography before you ever even learn the words. So Quincy didn't just admire Zeke, he downloaded him. He learned that a man can be adored in public and unfaithful in private and still be the hero of his house. Is it any surprise that this boy grows up struggling to be steady with the one woman who actually sees him? Now let's flip the script. Monica's mom, Camille, is a homemaker. She's traditional. She puts dinner on the table every night and she wants a daughter who wears the dress, okay? And teenage Monica treats her mother like she's small, like being domestic is the same as being weak. Until that scene, and y'all know the scene, where Camille finally tells her daughter that her life was a choice and she made that choice on purpose and she's not less than anybody. That moment changes everything because now you realize teenage Monica had her own kind of blind spot. She looked down on the parent who was actually stable and loving. 2 kids, 2 houses. The boy worshiped the wrong parent. The girl dismissed the right one. And they both had to grow all the way up before they could even see it. So let's get into the part that made teenage me swoon and grown me cringe, okay? Because they spend years apart. Monica goes overseas to play pro ball, chasing the exact dream that he has on the other side of the planet. He builds a whole life without her. He gets engaged. I mean, the whole 9, okay? And then he blows out his knee. His career ends. The identity, the supply, and the thing that fed him, it's gone. And that's when he finds his way back to Monica. Now, the movie scores this like it's a homecoming, okay? You get the whole play me one-on-one for my heart and everybody cries, okay? Look, I cried too, all right? I'm not made of stone, but run it back one time, okay? He returns to her at the precise moment that he's been humbled and has the least to offer and the most to need. You have to at least ask the question, is that love finally maturing, or is that a man reaching for the safe option once the exciting one stopped clapping for him? And this is where the psychology gets a little scary because it explains why the reunion feels so good, even if it's built on sand. There is a concept called intermittent reinforcement. It comes out of B.F. Skinner's work on conditioning. And here is the plain version, okay? A reward that you get every single time stops meaning so much. A reward you only get sometimes, unpredictably, becomes an addiction. It's literally why slot machines work. It's why you keep pulling the lever. Now apply that to a person. Hot then cold, present then gone. Chooses you, then chooses somebody else, and then comes back. Therapists like Patrick Carnes built a whole framework around this called the Betrayal bond. And writers like Shahida Arabi have shown how the highs feel more intense precisely because the lows came first. The relief of him finally choosing you is so strong that your brain files it as the greatest love of your life, when a lot of what you are experiencing is just your nervous system exhaling after years of being jerked around. So when Monica plays him for his heart at the end, part of me stands up and cheers. And part of me wants to hand her a pamphlet and directions to the nearest support group for surviving narcissistic abuse. Okay, here's the thing that nobody wants me to say out loud. The movie is told in 4 quarters, just like a game. And that structure is the whole point. It is a coming of age story pretending to be a romance. Quarter by quarter, you are watching 2 children who were never given the tools for adult love try to build it anyway, with their bare hands out of the broken pieces their parents left them. And by the last quarter, they finally get it right. But look at the cost. The tomboy who fought her whole life to be taken seriously as an athlete, the girl who ate every scar so she could ball, ends the movie settling for somebody who never chose her first. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to feel about that because I too go back and forth about it. Maybe that's love. Maybe adulthood really is learning what you will lay down for another person. But I will say this. That little girl in the cold open, the one who got knocked down and told it was flirting, spent the whole movie being asked to give a little more of herself just so a man could feel whole. And the movie asks her to give one more thing right at the buzzer. So no, I don't think it's the worst movie in the world. I think it's a beautiful movie that is way more honest about how we fail at love than it gets credit for. It just never admits that part on purpose. Quincy found his way home the very minute he had nothing left to offer and called it his destiny. And he can go straight to hell. Zeke out here being everybody's hero in the driveway and nobody's husband in the house, he can go to hell, okay? The idea that a boy hurting a girl is just how he shows that he likes her, that can go straight to hell too. And take that raggedy crossover with you, okay? Now, if you sat through this whole thing with me, you are exactly my kind of people. So subscribe and catch the next breakdown, because we are going through the whole culture one red flag at a time. Tell me in the comments, was this growth or was it convenience? I already know it's about to be a war down there, and I definitely want front row seats. Now, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know every single time your girl uploads, and I will catch you guys in the next video. All right? Peace.